everyone, and welcome to Cram Farms. If you're new around here, there's 6 of us in our family. We have 2 sets of twins, and our oldest set has cerebral palsy. We have been trying to live a more self-sustaining life for the past 6 years. We grow 100% of our meats here, and we grow a lot of our fruits and vegetables. Lately, lots of people have been asking questions about gardening and even chickens. So today we're going to show you how you can start a garden from scratch. It won't take you much time at all, and I can almost guarantee you everything you need right there at home. So this is just going to be a small area, something that you could start in your front yard or your backyard or wherever the sun is going to be hitting a good spot of your property, and you could put this together in like an hour or less. So come along, I'm going to show you how to get that started, and we'll share a little bit more about our homestead with you. So the area we're going to be focusing on today is right here, and this is an area that we haven't gardened previously. So obviously we need to move this water tank, which we have gotten to catch rainwater off of our barn that will help to water our animals and our garden. So that's one of the first things we need to do. You can also tell that this land is on a slope. So when we plan out our bed, we're going to take that into consideration, because it'll help with water runoff. It'll keep the soil draining properly, but it will also help water existing beds.
That is a lot in grass.
Where are we moving? Wherever you want. Out of the way.
Snakes could be there.
It could. Watch out, Amy. Move. The next thing you want to do is cut your grass as short as you can get it, and that's going to help us with the next step. So now that we cut the grass as low as we could get it, we've got some stakes we're putting up here. Here's my supervisor. And so we're going to put stakes up here so we can keep our bed straight as to where we want it. And now we're going to figure out our width and how long we want them. Let's do it 3 feet. How about that? Well, I'm trying to think. So I'm going to put watermelon, beans, maybe 4. No, I like 3. I like 3. Alright, so this area that we have just measured out here is about 3 feet wide, and it's actually almost 20 feet long. So you would be able to put a ton of food in that area. We are going with 3 feet because you're going to be able to get to both sides of the bed to harvest whatever you're going to plant on each side. My raised beds that I have in the back are actually 4 feet wide, but just doing this type of row, we're just going to do 3 feet. So you can easily do this on your own. Now the next part of this process is that you need some type of weed barrier, and we're going to use newspaper because it will break down and go into your soil just to help enrich your soil even more over time. So we're going to put down newspaper, and then you're going to soak it down with the water hose. And as it breaks down over time, worms and all of that is just going to turn into organic material that's just going to feed your soil even more in the years to come. So we're going to put down newspaper, and then we'll take the water hose and we will spray it down. And this is such a fun project on a windy day. So when you're doing this method, the like sales papers that come that are like really slick, you don't want to use these in your garden. You want to make sure they're just like the newspaper that you're putting down. So these slick ones, like sale papers and advertisements, you're just gonna stick those to the side. You're not gonna use those. So if you don't have a ton of newspapers sitting around, you can ask neighbors to hold them for you, drop them off on your porch. You can even ask things like the newspaper, like if you have a local newspaper. When we first started doing this, like this newspaper is from 2015. When we first started doing this, we would just ask people to collect newspapers for us, and we would just drive by and pick them up off their carports. We even have a local newspaper near us, and they always keep extra newspapers, so we could go by and just pick up like a handful or a bag of them, and they were happy to give them to us. So if you don't get the newspaper yourself and you're not sure where you can find newspapers, there are always sources around that you can grab them from. So also, if you have kids, this is something that they can easily do. Don't feel bad about asking them to help. If they're gonna be eating this food, they can surely come along and help you build a small bed. It's a great learning experience for them too, because they can go along and see the whole process of how you build the soil up and then how you're gonna plant the plant. So this is an excellent learning opportunity. And if you're having to homeschool right now, here's your perfect homeschooling project. You can get them outside and teach them about growing some food of their own that they can eat. So the next part is kind of up to you. If you want to go ahead and get this ready and plant it now, then you can add dirt, which is what we're going to show you today. If you have a couple of weeks, what you can do is top this with like grass clippings. You can top it with dry leaves. You can throw in kitchen waste and then cover that with dirt, and then top it with and then let it sit for about 2 weeks. What you're going to do then is something called lasagna gardening. So you have layered brown and green organic material on the top of the newspaper, and over the next couple of weeks it's going to start to bake and kind of just break down, and it'll start to cook. When you come back in a couple of weeks and you're ready to plant, that organic material will have started breaking down and you will have really good soil. Your shovel will also go straight through the newspaper because it will have started decomposing from where you wet it down, and all of this has started composting together. If you are in a point where you need to grow food right now though, we're gonna show you how you can do that today. Now we're gonna top it with dirt, and then we'll show you what else you can do to get ready to start planting.
Y'all need one more? I just picked it up.
Okay.
Do y'all need one more?
I don't know, Riley. I'll let you know when I know, okay?
Do y'all do the other side? Yeah, can you get scratch cleaning the dirt?
Probably.
I just got a pine cone.
Now you can very easily buy bags of dirt and just dump that down on top. This is just dirt that we've had sitting in kind of a compost pile for a while now, and so we are using that. But you can get bags of dirt. You can even order dirt on Amazon if you don't have, if you're not going out to stores and you don't want to buy, go out somewhere and buy bags of dirt. You can order dirt on Amazon. If you can get your dirt in bulk, like by the dump truck load, it is also much cheaper. And in the past we have ordered dump truck loads of like topsoil or like a planting compost, but because we've been adding and building to this compost pile ourselves for about a year, it's already really good dirt, so that's what we are using. So if you're doing a true lasagna gardening bed, you want that finished bed to be somewhere between 18 and 24 inches high. Now that's your newspaper on the bottom, and then your dry leaves, and then your organic material, and your dirt. So once you finish, you want your bed to have some height to it. Now, that's gonna be really good for keeping weeds down and to have a lot of good dirt that you're gonna be planting in. So we have this finished now. You can see the dirt, and it's ready for planting. Now, if you're gonna plant something like lettuce, you can go ahead and just plant that right on top. You know, if you are doing transplants, you can go on and transplant those. If you're doing something like squash or beans, you can do the same thing. We're gonna be planting some watermelons here, and we're actually gonna be planting some pole beans. So we're gonna come back and show you in another video how we're gonna make teepees to make runner bean, teepees out of runner beans, and then we're gonna plant watermelons in between our beans. So if you wanted to plant something like peppers or tomatoes, you would just need to dig down through the newspaper so that the roots can start going into that soil under there. But because we're going to be planting something that the root system isn't going to be nearly as long, like on your beans and watermelons, it's fine for us to plant them right on top of the dirt here with the newspaper and everything underneath. I hope this has given you some inspiration today on how you can take a spot that has never been planted before and easily turn it into a garden spot in just like 45 minutes to an hour. If you haven't, you can also join our Facebook group, Cram Farms, and you can find us on Instagram. We'd love it if you give our video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for lots more gardening ideas on how you can take control of your own food no matter where you live, whether you're doing pots, raised beds, or a big garden. We're gonna keep the ideas coming for you so that you can start planting and growing your own food. We're Cram Farms. We'll see you next time.